Hello, my name is Abe and welcome back to Dicey Dungeons. I have not played this game in a couple of years, I think, but every once in a while it gets added to the poll because Disposable Account in chat says play some Dicey Dungeons. This is when they're not asking for Monster Train. I never did play the bonus episodes of Dicey Dungeons, the episodes that are the Halloween special and the reunion tour. It seems like the perfect time to do it, right? Maybe I can revisit some of these old games that have special Halloween content and we can play some of the Halloween content because we're in spooky time. But for right now, let's just do a warm-up run of Dicey Dungeons in the base game mode while we explain what the hell's happening in Dicey Dungeons. Terry Cavanaugh, I believe, is the artist/developer for Dicey Dungeons. Let's play a run. I have 100% of the game, I believe. I think I've won with all of the characters on all of the episodes, including the final episode, the secret challenge. There's challenge modes, which are achievements. I have most of these except for a couple that were added in after I stopped playing the game. Like a few of them I did before there were achievements. Now, how does Dicey Dungeons work? It's a dice-based game, in case you couldn't figure it out. You play as a dice boy. There are 6 different characters. Each character plays differently. But I think we'll just start with the warrior because that is the most simple character to play as, and then we'll do the bonus challenge modes. Maybe I'll play with another character though first. I'll show you how it works when we start. In case you have not seen Dicey Dungeons, each character has 6 episodes that follow a rough pattern. The first one is the standard rule set. The second one is you start with 2 upgraded battle axes. All equipment you find is upgraded. You get cursed at the start of every turn. Very interesting. The third challenge, or the third episode, you start with the Venus flytrap. I don't know what that item does, but you lose 2 maximum health when you level up. Enemies get more health. All enemy equipment is upgraded, so this is hard mode. Status effects work differently. All of the equipment has been changed. This is just, the Parallel Universe mode is just completely different. And then round 6 is standard rules, and you get more rules. It's kind of like an Ascension mode in the middle of your run. You get like enemies heal every turn, enemies do additional damage, you lose 1 energy or something like that. But we're just gonna start on the standard Warriors Welcome, the very first episode, because we gotta show you how this game is actually played before we actually jump into the custom challenge modes that exist, the additional modes. Lady Luck. This time it's a competitor who escaped once but couldn't resist the lure of the dungeons for long. Let's give it up for the return of one of our reigning champions. We're the Dice Boy. Now, we have equipment in our character slot here. We start with a sword. The sword accepts 1 dice and it does that amount of damage. That's what we start with. We have a total of 6 slots that we can equip. The sword takes 2 slots. We have 24 HP, no money, 2 dice. Every turn in combat, we roll 2 dice, and we can pick and choose what to do with the dice. So to start with, it's very easy, but it gets a little bit harder as time goes on. There's a chest on the mini-map. I wanna go to the chest. We have to fight Hothead. Let's do it. If you've never played Dicey Dungeons, it is a very fun game, and the music kinda slaps. Music might be a little bit loud, but I can always turn it down for the YouTube end. So we have 2 dice. We could put a 2 into the sword and do 2 damage. That sucks. Or we could use Combat Roll. Combat Roll is our character's trait. The trait has 3 uses and it re-rolls. So let's take the 1, re-roll it into a 1, take the 1, re-roll it into a 5. Let's take the 2, re-roll it into a 6. Do 6 damage, end turn. Boom, easy. Hothead is weak to ice. Good to know. He did 4 damage and burned. Burn means if I use the dice, we take damage. I think, yeah, we can look to see what the enemy does. So it requires an even dice, it deals that damage and then it burns. So if we use the 1, we will burn and take 2 damage. We don't need to use the 1 though, we rolled perfectly on the 6. So we smack and we end turn. So he's gonna do 6 damage. Sucks, but you know, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Our limit break is active. Limit break charges when you take damage. I believe it's 10 damage to get charged. And if we used it, we can double our action. I could hit for 12 with the sword, or I could reroll multiple dice, or whatever. We don't need that. He only has 2 HP. We just smack him, he dies. We get 1 coin, which we can use to buy things, 1 experience, 1 more experience, and we'll level up. You get experience equal to the level of enemies. So the Space Marine over here will give us 1 more level, but first, we get a hammer. It does electrical damage, and on a 6, it'll shock the enemy. What does a shock do? We'll find that out later. I hope it's equipped, because I didn't equip it. It is equipped automatically, good. So we've got 2 3s, let's reroll. 6, perfect, let's shock him. Shocked temporarily disables equipment, but you can use a dice to unshock it. We'll see that in action in a second. What does the Space Marine do? Space Marine can do 10 damage. It requires him to spend 20 in dice to unlock the ability. So he can't do this damage until he rolls 20. On 3 dice, that can't happen on 1 turn. The most you can roll in 1 is 18, 3 6s. Let's reroll the 3, reroll the 1. You know what, doesn't matter. He has 6 HP. We can do 6 damage next turn. I could have Furied, I could have used my limit break. No reason to. He's gonna die next turn. So he's gonna spend a dice, wasting it, unlocking his plasma cannon. He still has to roll a freaking 10. You know what though, he's dead.
Bam, I'm so proud of you. I mean, you beat Lady Luck. Of course you'll have no problem beating me.
Everyone in this game is so, like, happy to see you and happy that you're killing them. I love it. Maximum health increased. We got a level up. And we got an extra dice as part of our level up. You know, I think I'm gonna lower the volume by like 3 points in Windows. There we go. So we have our equipment, 3 dice now, which makes it easier to assign. Let's go to the next floor. There's a heal, we don't need it. A chest, a shop, and the enemies are Stereohead, Pirate, and Dryad. Because there's a heal in front of us, we should fight the Dryad, take damage, then heal. That's what I think. The Dryad is strong against poison. Weak and strong means double damage and half damage. So if she was weak against electricity, she would take double damage from this. I am still going to shock her. Let's see what she can do. Venus Flytrap, do damage on 6 heal. Poison Slingshot, 12 total dice, adds 4 poison. We're gonna shock. And then before we use the 5 in the sword, I'm gonna re-roll to see if we can get a 6. And it's just that easy. Now I should probably use Fury one of these days, because if I use Fury, oh my god, what a roll. If I use Fury, then we can charge Fury. So let's see. If I double the 5, that's 10 damage. I only need to get a 6 in order to kill, I think. So reroll the 3. So you know what, let's use Fury. Double the 6, or double the shock on the hammer, and then kill with the 5. So now, as we take damage, we'll charge up the next Fury. Then heal. Then we could fight Stereohead to get access to the trapdoor, or Pirate to get access to lots of loot. We will also level up after we fight this guy, so we don't need to worry about healing. I mean, yes. What does a Pirate do? Pirate has Pirate Hook, a maximum of 5 that can be reused on a 4, and then Cannon Fire, a sum total of 8, means he does 6 burn damage and he burns 1 dice. There are elemental damages. So a 5 is good, 4 not so much. Okay, 5. So he's got 15 health. It's probably gonna take us 2 turns to kill him. He's wasting the 1, playing the 5. That's not that much damage. So we're just re-rolling the lowest dice that we get. We're looking for better. We don't get it, we do damage. The warrior is very direct. He's basically like, I'm just gonna do damage. With high numbers. The thief, for instance, we already have you. The thief, for instance, does damage with low numbers, which is very interesting. The other characters, you have the robot, which is like playing blackjack. The inventor, where you replace your equipment every turn. The witch, where you have to play spells from a spell book, then play the spells using dice, which is very hard. And then I forget what the other class is. Oh, the jester has a deck, like a deck of cards. So each class plays differently. We get to choose a reward because we leveled up. We can take the spiked shield, which can give us block, or we can play a boomerang, which does double damage to the enemy, but single damage to yourself. So a 6 does 12, and self deals 6 damage. I'm gonna take the spike shield. I think that block is nice, and this gives us the opportunity to get block. From the chest, we get bump. It makes a dice get +1 value. 1 becomes 2, 5 becomes 6. A 6 becomes a 7. As in a 6 and a 1. We get an extra dice if you bump a 6. And you can think about what I was just saying about the thief doing damage with low numbers. If you can create dice out of thin air, you can get a lot of value on the thief with lots of low damage attacks. But not right now. Let's go to the shop. Nightstick. Shocks the enemy, reusable. Doesn't do damage. Target shield gets a very small amount of shield, maximum 2. And then we can just buy the boomerang if we want it. I kind of like the idea of a target shield. We could also upgrade this equipment, by the way, at some point. Everything has a normal and a plus version, kind of like Slay the Spire, where there's only one upgrade. That being said, our equipment right now is literally full. We can't even get the bump, so let's not worry about that because I don't think we're gonna get a lot of value out of that for now. Let's just save our money. Let's fight him. Stereo Head is weak to shock. Luck, oh, very lucky for me. You know what? Let's Fury his ass. Wow, he's dead. Even does damage. Hit him for 3, he's dead. All right, that's great. Sweet. Freaking loser. What do we got? Sneezy, level 2. Cactus level 3, Yeti level 3, we level up in 5. I would like to get the loot first, but if we go this path, we can actually unlock the health first. We don't need the loot, we actually have full items. Let's go to Sneezy, and then we can upgrade, then fight the level 3 minion. How about that? Poor guy's got a cold. What does he do? Sneeze. They've changed this character. I don't remember him doing this. I thought he like only attacked with 1s. If he rolls doubles, he reduces the countdown on all equipment. So if he rolls 2 6s, he gets spikes automatically. Very interesting. He has 3 dice as well. He could be kind of tough, but let's give it a shot. Reroll the 2, the 1. Okay, let's shock him. And then honestly, I'm just gonna roll 4/4. 4 is the most damage you can get out of that target shield, and he's more than half dead. Oh, perfect. He does 3 damage, he charges up another spike. So unless he rolls doubles, he's not that big of a deal. We rolled lethal, so just kill him. Hard mode version, I think? No, I think hard mode version gave him an extra dice. I think they changed Sneezy unless I'm thinking of a different character. I haven't played this game in a long time, and they definitely changed things up since the last time I played. So I will probably have incorrect knowledge of some of this stuff. Hey, come on in, have a browse. All of our stock is battle ready and comes with a 7-day return policy. Wait, no, sorry, I misread that. It comes with no 7-day return policy. We have the option of buying Taser, does damage and shocks. Healing Crystal recovers health. Snowball does damage and freezes dice. Freezing dice means that they become a 1, and it re-rolls the enemy's highest dice to be a 1. That's really good. And I kind of like the idea of Snowball and Taser to shock the enemy. If you roll low, you can prevent them from using dice. Although, what do you think is better? Do you think it's better to make the enemy have to waste a dice or prevent them from using one dice? Because that's kind of what the 1 does. It's a bad dice. Either way, it is more damage, and the snowball is pretty good. You can have enemies that are weak to frost, I suppose. We can also come here and look at the upgrades. So sword does +1 damage. Hammer is smaller. Spike shield can take a 6. I kind of like the idea of using a hammer and then buying one of those other pieces of equipment, right? Eventually, when we level up, we'll get a dice ×4 here, right? We can take bump. We have options. So let's upgrade that hammer. Make it really tiny. I'm gonna buy... I'm gonna buy the snowball, I think. Why not buy both? Let's buy both. Let's buy the snowball, and let's buy the taser. This guy, we probably don't want to make him roll low. He's an ice unit. He's probably strong on rolling 1s, I would have to imagine. So why don't we just equip, like, maybe the bump? So we can bump a dice and make it a little bit easier to hit that hammer. Yeah, he's weak to fire. So what does he do? On an odd dice, he freezes our dice. If he rolls 1s, he freezes all of our dice. So if he rolls 1s, all of our dice become 1, and then we have to spend our trait re-rolling them. Either way, I think we bump. We do 6 damage and shock him. I think we probably just gain shield, and then we'll just re-roll the 3. Re-roll the 3. Re-roll the 3. Yeah, okay. Perfect. So the 5 shield will block a little bit of damage. He did roll 1s, which is pretty funny. And then with the 6s, he actually can't use those at all. Our 1s need to get re-rolled. We rolled a 5, which is actually a 6. 6 going there, 5 going here, 2 going here. We have 10 block. He's not doing any damage to us. Ellenton Team says, I've never played or seen gameplay of Dicey Dungeons that looks interesting. If you like roguelites, but you're sick of cards, if you're sick of Slay the Spire, but you like, fighting a whole bunch of enemies and collecting loot and upgrading your loot over the course of a run, fighting a boss at the end of your run, and you like dice, Dicey Dungeons. Or Bombastic, but I don't know who has a PS2 anymore. Reroll, reroll, reroll. Well, a 4, do we have enough damage? 14? No. A 4 can become a 5, which means that we can gain another 5 block. We did take a bunch of damage on that turn, and then we can just deuce 5. He's dead next turn. You can only use odd dice in here, so he's only doing 3 damage on that turn. He did ruin my 6, though, like a big jerk. Okay, well, sometimes you just get lucky, I guess. What are the odds of that? Rolling 2 1s, a 6, and then rolling 3 more 6s. 6 shooter. Needs a 6, does 6 damage. This is very interesting. We could have done 18 damage on that last turn with the 6s that we rolled. But it requires a 6. If you roll a 5, you can't use the 6 shooter. It is called 6 shooter after all. Sorry, 6 in the 6 shore. Let's go fight the cactus, and then we will probably heal up and leave. We do get an extra dice off of that level up, which is very nice. So what's the cactus do? On odds, he gains thorns. On evens, he does damage. So we want to hit him with single big attacks. We kind of do that. We should be okay. Hammer, shield, reroll. Perfect. I kind of want to show you getting another dice with the bump, but that's okay. Shocking seems pretty good against him, because if he rolls 2 odds and an even, he can only gain 1 thorns instead of 2 thorns, right? I'm not gonna bump now, but I'm gonna hammer, gain more block, bump a 4, do 5 damage. I like being able to gain some shield. Rolling 3-6 kind of is perfect. He has no thorns applicable to him. This is like the best he's ever rolled, I think. Okay, so we have lethal, so I'll show you bumping a 6 gives you a 6 and a 1. Look at that, awesome. It's gonna take a lot of experience to level us up at this point. There's health, we don't need it. Healing crystal, no thank you. Healing is kind of just like block, but reactive instead of proactive, right? Wicker Man level 4, probably weak to fire, I think. Dire Wolf, bully. We have to fight all 3 to level up. 4, 4, and 3 equals 11. Bonic Lettuce says, can't wait for the D20 character. That would be fun, having to roll a D20. How come that doesn't exist in this game? Wicker Man is weak to fire. He can burn us and heal. So for every 12 he rolls, he can do 9 damage and burn our dice. Sucks a little bit, but we'll hammer. Reroll the 1, reroll the 1, reroll the 2. Bump the 5, do 6 damage, gain 5 block. The shield will block anything. It'll block the burn damage and it'll block the burn from the dice. So he wasted a 2 having to unlock that. That's not that bad. Reroll the 3, reroll the 1, reroll the 3, roll the 6, shock him. Let's gain more block and then bump the 4 to a 5. I think if you upgrade bump, by the way, you can use it twice. So he had enough to do Wicker Stab, but we only took 3 damage. Our dice is burned. It'll use health to pick him up. Still probably worthwhile. Yeah, I'm gonna... That's actually kind of nice. By taking the burn damage, we got Fury, which I think I'm gonna use. Because he's dead. Yeah, that worked very well. Digitizable welcome. Shield is proactive, but you may want to hover over its status to check out its description. Wink. This isn't Parallel Universe. This is my first run of Dicey Dungeons in like 2 years, so I'm just doing a normal run to show people what it's like. Whip, do damage on 6 burn. We have too much equipment, but I like our setup right now, just physical damage. Unless they changed block, does it go away after a couple of turns now? I worry that it might go away after a couple of turns. I don't know. Healing can be good, absolutely. But we wanna, it is dependent on the character. I know that, first of all, I know that the warrior has like synergies with the shield, but also you want to roll high. If you have low value dice, you're not getting value out of the other things, so that's something to consider. It's a pretty good roll. Reroll a 4, bad roll. Hammer, block, bump, damage. Blocks incoming damage, yeah, it's just regular shield. I don't remember if poison goes through the shield or not. We'll find out. No, we won't. That's okay. Poison just does damage over time, just like any other video game that we've seen this in. Hammer. We're looking for a 5 for the spiked shield. It might be worth more just to smack him and kill him quickly before the poison ramps up, but I'm still gonna try to block. Look at that, it does say pierce shields, there you go. At least we're blocking his physical damage, which is nice. This is a good roll. Can we get better? No. I will... Do we have lethal? No. We're close, but we don't quite have it. So we're gonna do one more cycle. We're gonna take a little bit of poison damage and then he'll die. Fury is getting charged up, but my dude's dead. We've not fought any of the really annoying enemies, but I think the really annoying enemy is Stereo Head, but we killed him in one turn. Because I think he's got something where he can shock you and then you have to waste your own dice. Here's what I've got. Your spike shield for my battle axe. Dude, battle axe is really good. It can do a lot of damage. Instead of putting up block, we can do up to 8 damage with a 4. I like getting value out of the 4, keeping the 5 and the 6s for the other equipment that we have. And maybe we can even make this small with an upgrade. I'll take it. Is it equipped? Yes. I think the upgrade does make it tiny. Connie says I'm a big fan of the OST. Great music in Dicey Dungeons. So we've got our 4, we've got our 6. We just want a high roll on whatever else we can get. 5, why not? So 6, 4, reroll, 5. More than half of his health gone. We don't put up any blocks anymore, but we still do a lot of damage. So what does he do? He did 6 damage. Bully can do a lot of damage himself, but especially when he's on the upgraded path, but you can either throw a rock to do listed damage or do a fist to do 3 damage. So on low dice, you put him in fists. On 4, 5, or 6, you put him in rock. So he does a minimum of 6 damage per turn, a maximum of 12. He can really hit you pretty hard, can he? 1, 2, 6, and then 10. That'll kill him. That battle axe, it really enables us to do a lot of damage. It's the most damaging thing that we have. So we can choose a reward. We can either get Shield Bash, Bash with Shield, do shield damage, earth damage, maybe? What is? Does it do your block worth of damage? I don't know what this does. I'm just gonna take the upgrade because I want to upgrade the battle axe to make it tiny. Because with this, now we can equip a snowball or a taser. Shock the enemy or freeze a dice. I think we should keep shocking them. I think the shocking is working very nicely. And we have things to do with 4 dice now. 6 shooter could also be tempting to level up. I should maybe look at it, but I really like this equipment right here. Hammer, battle axe, sword, bump, taser. Your block worth of damage. Except there was an empty dice in there, so it's like the block symbol, the dice representing what you put into the doubles, and then that amount of damage, and I'm like, I don't know. Freezing for weaknesses. If we come across an enemy that's weak to ice, we can always get the ice, but I do like more shocking, because if we shock 2 pieces of enemy equipment, and they have 2 pieces of enemy equipment and 3 dice, they can only use 1. So I like that. Let's fight the Rhino. It might be shield plus dice. It might be shield plus dice, yeah. So this is pretty good. Rhino Beetle. So this is exactly what I was thinking. If we shock both, he can only use 1 piece of equipment. He can put like 2 dice into the Beetle Headbutt because it's a countdown, but he can't use both things. So if we double shock on this turn, that's freaking fantastic. He could still get like max value out of this. Like he can save the 4 for the battle axe if he rolls that. And if he rolls a 1 and 2 6s, he can still use this, but it does limit his ability to do things. Because here's the thing, if we freeze one of his dice and we make it 1, he'll just spend the 1 unlocking the shock. So you're not really getting value out of the thing becoming 1, you know what I mean? So we're gonna Fury the 6s. Maybe we should have Furied the battle axe. Whatever. We got a 3, which is perfect, and a 6, which is perfect. That's basically maximum damage. So he could use the battle axe, but he couldn't do anything with the 6, and that's because of the double shock. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this man is dead. It only took 2 turns. We do a lot of direct physical damage. We can heal. And there's a chest and a shop. What does a shop have? We have 7 coins. Upgrade, yes. Toxic Ooze for poison. We can upgrade the sword, the bump to get multiple uses, the taser to do a max of 5, or the snowball. It does 1 additional damage. 6 shooter has 6 uses. If you get a lot of 6s, I mean, it's pretty good. The whip does 2 burn. I'm dumb. We should just have the whip. Because it hits the fire damage bonus, which will be important in a second, but also we get a bonus damage. We get bonus damage out of a 6 on the whip. The sword, if we upgrade it, this does +1, this does more burn. Either way, we should be using the whip. I think I'm gonna upgrade the taser though, to give it more range and a max of 5, I think is pretty good. So let's buy that upgrade. And let's fight the Paper Knight. What's this? Paper Knight? I've got a Flame Whip? Paper Knight is weak to fire. That one I remember. So, 3 dice, 2 pieces of equipment. Sound familiar? On even, do 9 damage, does less damage. Cardboard sword, it gets weaker. Or glue, it locks our dice with an odd. That means that a locked dice means we can't use it. First of all, we're going to reroll a 2, and then a 2. And then we don't need to reroll anymore, because we actually have everything that we want. Bump the 3 into a 4, battle axe, 5 for taser, 6 for hammer, 6 for whip. So that did 12 damage, and burned the dice, and if she touches the burn dice, she will take 4 HP instead of 2, because she is weak to the fire. So let's see. So she didn't have a reason to use the 1 because we tasered her twice. Still, good turn. We got a 4, which is what we want. 2, no. 3, yes. Can we kill you? 8 plus 6, that's 14. If we can't kill you, well, actually, hold on. Bump this to a 4. 8 plus 10, 18. It's not 6, it's 9, you dummy. 8. You know what? Just to be right. It also does double damage on fire. Yeah, we're totally okay. So what is this? Counterspell. If the enemy rolls blank, it's locked. This is very good with ice, because if you freeze the dice to make them 1, you can make this 1, and then you're automatically gonna lock the enemy dice. And it's easy to get a 1 with bump, because a 6 or 5 becomes a 1 if you upgrade it. The bump, that is. Let's fight the Kraken. We could fight the Singer to get access to an upgrade, but I don't think we need it. Kraken rolls 5 dice. Blinds our dice on camouflage on a 5, curses the enemy on a 4, and then overwhelm on even. It does damage and it gets stronger. So overwhelm, that does a lot of damage if you let them level up. We're gonna Fury immediately on the battle axe. That's 16 damage. 5 goes in taser probably. Well, no, you probably want to bump it to a 6, that way you can get a shock out of the hammer. So we'll shock, and then do damage, and then do damage. You've got 15 health left. You better roll well. I was gonna wonder if you would curse me. So blind means we can't see the dice value. If you re-roll it, you still don't see the dice value. Cursed means if we do something, it has a chance of not working. For instance, that worked. That didn't, so we lost the dice. That's still okay. Let's, battle axe needs a 4 or less. That means this is a 5 or a 6. It was a 5. We killed you. We had the damage.
You won, and yet still you must wake me for your idea of a fight. May huge sponges of millennial growth and height consume you all.
Okay. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Tentacler. Your avatar is an abomination. I am a man who was turned into a dice. That's the plot of Dicey Dungeons, by the way. Yeah, I'm a man who got turned into a dice. All right, Singer. You're the last one. We're gonna get our final level up, and then we'll fight a boss. And then that's your run. Not very long runs, but actually I kind of enjoy that. 5, 6. This is perfect. We want 2 6s, a 5, and a 4 every turn. Because you go 6, and then you go 6, and then you go 4, and then you go 5. So what's the Singer do? Let's find out. High rolls. Do 12 damage, high note. Her other abilities, max 4 to do that damage and apply weaken. Weaken, for all of the equipment that I have that's upgraded, Hammer Plus, Battle Axe Plus, there's also a negative version of equipment that is worse. The weaken makes my equipment negative, or her equipment negative if we manage to have weaken ourselves. Which is earth damage, I guess. Reroll the 2, we got a 1. We're not killing you on this turn, so we're gonna do a... We're gonna get a 6 to shock you. This does the most damage, and then we just do this. You're gonna live for 1 more turn, and then you're gonna die. So we're weakened. We're weakened. Surprised she didn't get to her 12 damage ability. And we have Hammer minus, it just does damage, and Taser minus, maximum of 3. It just shocks the enemy. Taser normally does damage. The negative means that it doesn't do any damage, but you're dead anyways. Maximum health increased. We get an extra dice. We have 5 now. And we might as well buy that just to see what the upgrade is, I guess. Bump gets used twice. Whip is double burn. Toxic Ooze is on 6, 3 poison. Counterspell has 2 uses. Sword does more damage. 6 shooter can be used multiple times. Snowball freezes enemy dice. What do we want to upgrade? Honestly, the 6 shooter is not bad because if you roll a lot of 6s, you can just do it. We have 5 dice. We could just do a bunch of damage, you know? But I don't feel like this needs an upgrade because we already have things to use with the other dice. If we roll 6s, we have other things to put them in anyways. So I think maybe we upgrade the bump to get more reroll potential and more dice and more bumps. And then why don't we actually equip that 6 shooter? Get rid of the whip. Try it out. Warrior versus Audrey. Sweat. Tree Jam says, it seems like you decided to make the fact that you turned into a die everyone else's problems. People you fight are minding their own business. Actually, this is a game show. So they are all like contractual contestants. They know that they're here to fight. Hence the, lights, camera, action.
Yeah, it's time for another boss battle.
And why everyone's very aware of where they are in their game.
You've been practicing, let's go at it. Deep breaths to center yourself and fight.
Good rolls. Audrey has 4 dice. She can headbutt to do damage and have multiple uses. Earthquake to weaken me and do damage. I think that shock is gonna work rather well to mean that she can't use all of her dice. If I do 2 shocking, she can only use 2 of her 4 dice. She can use the best dice, but she still has to throw some of her dice away. So, 4 goes in Battle Axe. 5 goes into the Taser. We want to bump into a 6 to use the hammer. So she's shocked twice. And then we want to try to get 6s. It didn't work, but we got 1 6. So we get to ruin 2 of her good dice, which is nice. All she got was a weaken on that turn, not bad. Hammer's worse, Taser's worse, Battle Axe is worse. We do have 6-shooter still available though, so kind of like the idea of just doing a lot of damage, just going like bam, bam, bam. There's a bam. You know, why not? Max? Max? Doesn't matter. That's as good as we're gonna get. We only shocked her once, but I could have shocked her twice if I feared. I didn't want to. She rolled very poorly, which is awesome. She did 2 damage. Audrey, I am so sorry. You are so dead. Maybe I'm not sorry. That was incredibly easy. But it is the easiest character on the easiest mode. The first episode. Magnificent! Shall we spin the wheel just this once for old time's sake? Come on, give me the car, give me the car, give me the car! Oh, damn. What was it we used to say? Ah yes, bad luck there, but maybe next episode. Good times. She's got new dialogue because we murdered her previously on another episode, and so she's well aware of the fact that we won. And there you go, that's the Warriors' first episode. There's the Thief, which is low rolls. The Robot, which is Blackjack, it's a lot of fun. The Inventor, which is not really that much fun. You get to throw away your equipment every combat. The Witch, which is super freaking hard and you have a spell book. And the Jester, which is deck construction. For now. For those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Check me out on Twitch. Or when I go live, support the channel at the links below in the video description. And I hope to see you here again for the next run of Dicey Dungeons.